So, basically, just making this video to talk about the artist's life, career path, what it's like to be an artist, what it takes to become an artist, sacrifices, etc., etc. So, let's just get right into it. Basically, the artist's life, I'm going to start with my personal perspective. I've been doing art for like 5 years, something like that, 5, 6 years. Um, I've had some recent frustration that I've realized like it's kind of due to my desire, would you guess, that it's basically I want to do so much, right? As one human being, meaning that I do want to be an illustrator, or a drawer, painter, etc. I also want to write my own stories. Also want to do film and stuff like that. I want to play guitar, do music. Um, those are just my artistic interests, and I also want to film that stuff, capture content and post content on the internet, so I can further my career because that's the new path in the society. um, Not only that, having to be consistent with that, and also dealing with other personal aspects of my life, like my own personal health and fitness, my family, friends, you know just the regular shit. So my thing is that I want to like do all these things, juggling like four or five different things every day. I feel like the problem is that I do want to do these things. They all tie into my personal goal, but they can hinder. They can do more harm than good because you'll always see the greats of any practice, of any skill set, whatever, the people at the highest of their craft, those people tend to be the people who they only did that one thing, right? Jimi Hendrix only played guitar. Fucking Kim Jong Gi only drew, right? Who else? Carl Jung only did psychology. I don't know. Bruce Lee only did. I'm like looking at these pictures, but point is that they basically achieved mastery of one single subject. So then that begs the question like, should I continue, should you continue, if you're the type of person like me, continue doing multiple things at the same time, or stick to one thing, right? I think creativity and doing it as a career path in this generation, it's sort of a double-edged sword because there are a lot of opportunities more than ever. It's not going to be as easy and as accessible for the average person to go and put their stuff out there and to create this kind of platform for themselves. But also, it's just that now that that's so available, more and more people are filling the roles, right? It becomes very saturated, the market. So now you're kind of like, artists are put in a position where they need to stand out. They need to have something that makes them unique amongst others so that they can achieve their dreams, right? That's why I want to do the writing and the music, you know what I'm saying, and do the filming and all that stuff and make my own content and do everything like that. Because not only am I interested in those things, but I think that they are um, just extra things that can add to my career, can just another skill set to add to myself that I can improve. Since they're all sort of connected, I can do so much stuff with just those few things, right? Combined with all my other like niche sort of like how I want to express myself in art. I think it could be a very unique combination for my personal self, and it's sort of necessary to put yourself out there a lot in that way to kind of compensate so much in order for you to fulfill fulfill this goal, because that's the thing, that's the double edge where it's it's easier now, but since it's so easy, now motherfuckers who aren't necessarily qualified, one could say, or aren't even that good or don't make real shit can get bigger. And, the people who really are meticulous and diligent and do sort of like the detailed, long work are going to be missing out for the reason that I feel these people who they go out and sure they may not be that good, but they have other things like they post consistently, or they have charisma, or they have interesting subject matters in their art or whatever like that. So it's really right now the state of being an artist in 2023, I would say, is sort of, at least for me, a balancing act. And this is not even mentioning the business side, like the monetization, the strategies, the how to even go about that, right? On top of learning every single thing that you want to do, and practicing and not forgetting on top of everything else. So it can be very overwhelming. But here's the kicker, right? Um, for me, this sort of lifestyle is something that I really wouldn't have it like any other way. Because for me, I discovered that I love creating, I love being an artist, I love doing all these different things that I mentioned. And I want to have a career path. I want to direct my life and my life's path, my life's work into this direction because it's brought me discovery, self-discovery. It's improved my life, and it's a path for my fulfillment. You know what I'm saying? Not just the material fulfillment, but I would say like a spiritual fulfillment as well. Like I definitely feel when I do art, I feel more connected to myself and my higher self. You know what I mean? So it's the type of thing that, yeah, sure, it won't immediately be like monetizable or something like that. It won't give you money fast, but it isn't about that. And some people, especially say parents or people who aren't artists or people who are solely driven by money, they won't understand because these things, the real impact that art has isn't just money. It's the society, it's humanity, it's community, it's culture. For for me, being an artist, like one of the things that I feel like I want to do it most for, money's nice, of course. I would like acclaim. Like it's not a huge thing. Like I don't want to have people taking pictures of me, or whatever. But it's really for the impact of society or the cultural, connection with art that it has on society, humanity. Like that's the thing that drives the culture is art, music, film, all these different things. I mean, now more than ever, you'll see on social media, especially in this generation, maybe older generations don't really understand. But I mean, the music creates the fashion, and then the fashion creates the inspiration. It's the zeitgeist, the cultural zeitgeist, the spirit of the time, and that has an effect on the art. Every generation, new art is pushed out, new things like shows, paintings, whatever. For me, I want to do a show. I want to create, my web comic or something like that, adapt it into, an animated show, stuff like that. For me, I don't want to half-ass any of that stuff. I don't want to half-ass the writing, half-ass the illustrations, the artwork, half-ass the music, nothing. I want this to be like, like the magnum opus. I want this to be the real deal. So it's really important for me because I understand like that stuff that I just mentioned about the culture and all that stuff and the impact is real. I mean, you look at like I was just saying about social media, artwork and impact of artwork and the impact of all of that stuff on our culture, on our society. It's so strong. It has such a deep connection to individuals. You know what I mean? So many people solely identify, their lives with particular art or particular music or particular ways of dressing or expressing and all these different things. This stuff isn't just like, it's not nothing. It means a lot to people, and it means a lot to me as a creative. You know what I'm saying? So I think that living that life is worth it. It isn't like a mundane existence. I don't want to live that type of life where I give up on my dreams. Like I meet so many people. I've met people in the past where I talk to them and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're an artist? I used to be an artist when I was younger. I used to be really good." And life happened, and then now they're like 30 years old and they're living in an apartment with like four other 30-year-olds, and it's just like this life of that life usually stems from your inability to deal with or face your problems. Your inability to face your problems, your inability to have discipline or to have self-knowledge, be true to yourself and stick to what you believe and what's in your heart despite what anybody says. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, they're really talented. Like, not everybody's creative, not everybody has that sort of deep connection, but there are a lot of creative people. There are a lot of people out there who have high potential for creativity, whether it's in music, writing, etc., etc. A lot of people disband that because they don't feel like they have the potential. They don't feel like, it's possible for them. Like there's an avenue. And I mean, I can understand because, like I said, when you see how saturated the market is now, especially, like it could be kind of or overwhelming. You see 15-year-olds, 14-year-olds drawing, painting stuff that look like something a 25-year-old person would do. Sometimes I'm like, I look at younger artists and I'm like, damn, like y'all are killing me. But that's the thing. It's a mental thing. I don't feel discouraged when I see other people achieving the goals that I want, or living the life that I want to live. I actually am the opposite. I feel more invigorated because I see how possible it is. And not only do I see it out there, but I feel it on the inside. I feel it in my soul. Like I know I can do this. I really don't have a doubt that I can accomplish my goals. It's just a matter of focusing my energy, accumulating this discipline, and directing that into my career, into whatever I want, right? It's difficult, and especially because it's hard to be a solo artist. That's why you have to work with other people and all that stuff. But that's the other thing. You can't control other people. Sometimes you're not going to have agreements. Sometimes you're going to have things where, you have an idea and then somebody else has a different idea. Now you guys have a conflict. Now blah, 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 whatever. But working with other people is so essential, I believe. I mean, even in music especially, music is the type of thing where good luck trying to make it being a solo guy. Unless you're really talented, like if you're exceptionally talented, it's going to be very difficult. You need a full band, man. Like you need the bass, you need the drums, you need the lead guitar, the singer maybe, whatever. And even if you are exceptional, you finding other exceptional people to work with will not stop you at all. It will not hold you back. They will not outshine you. You guys, if you're working with competent, good people, you guys will help each other shine and come up and rise together, rather than, having this pride like, oh, I can't work with anybody because, oh, I don't do that, or what if somebody, takes my spotlight or something like that. You can't, bro. The ego is not your friend in that way. You have to let yourself just accept the fact that there are people out there who have things like qualities that are a little bit better than some of the qualities that you have. Everybody has good things and bad things. But you know, if you can't face inside yourself that other people are gonna outshine you in certain things, you're gonna hold yourself back. You're not holding yourself back working with other people. You're holding yourself back by not letting yourself work with other people, okay? Because if you can work with others, you can chop the whole time of making projects and putting yourself out there in communities or whatever like that, marketing yourself. You can cut all this shit in half, bro. So rather than it taking fucking 15, 20 years for you to make it, you can cut that into 5, 10. You know what I'm saying? And of course, for me, I feel like if I were to, like, let's say make it right now, I don't want to say I wouldn't feel ready, but I feel like I still have so much more to kind of go through and experience before I can fully, like, deal with all the stresses and everything that it takes to manage that type of career success. Because don't get it twisted, bro. It's not easy to succeed. It's not easy to, and I'm saying that as a guy who hasn't succeeded, but I mean, just from observing the greats, observing successful people and what they say, and observing what it takes and all that stuff from their anecdotes, I could say, like, from what I've heard, it's very stressful. It's the type of thing, like, you have to keep an eye on everything. You have to have discipline. You have to be focused. If not, and especially you have to have humility, right? Because if you don't, everything can fall apart, bro. You know what I'm saying? Don't make stupid fucking mistakes. Don't do, you know, sometimes people do things out of their, like, their ego. I keep mentioning this, but because it's so important, that there's a deep inner insecurity in a lot of people where they feel like they need to overcompensate and show people just how great they are, and act like, oh, you know, pretentious or whatever, or act like they're better than they are, or smarter than they are, or whatever. That type of thing fucks you up because you're not looking where you need to be looking. It's like if you're driving a car and you think, oh yeah, I'm just the best driver, and then you die. So if you're not paying attention, if you're not giving true detached focus into whatever you're doing, you don't need to be like some monk. All right, I don't want to make it seem like you have to be fucking Professor X and be this laser focused guy, but you need to, like, take it serious. It's not a fucking game. Like, it's really like, if you want this thing to work out for you, you know, and it doesn't mean you can't enjoy yourself. It doesn't mean that you can't have times where you're like chilling and stuff like that. Of course, that sort of career path, success, depending on what degree, if you have a high degree of success, you'll have a lot of freedom. So then you have more time to chill, you have more space, more money to, like, to do the things that you want to do. You know what I'm saying? To lead the lifestyle of your choosing, of your ideal. But in the beginning, you start breaking off, when you start trying, right? That there's like that bell curve, right? You go up. I don't know if that's the right saying, but it's basically that point right before you make it, right? Up until that point, it's gonna be a lot of struggle. It's gonna be, you need to, like, focus and really be in it, bro, because that's just what it takes. But it's preparation for dealing with what comes after when you do break out, right? And it's like a training. It's worth it. All of that is preparation, bro, for your success. Not everybody is capable of that. Not everybody is going to be able to handle having this level of responsibility, right? It takes a lot of responsibility, bro, especially if you have things like a family and you have, you know, like I mentioned, your own personal whatever. So that's why, despite that, despite all the despite all the hardship, despite everything, if you ask me, hey bro, is it worth it? Do you really think you want to do this? Yes. Because the latter is that I can go live a Monday life. Oh yeah, bro. I just quit my dreams, bro. I work at McDonald's now. I just got off my 13-hour shift, Smoke some weed, play some video games, fuck my fucking girlfriend that I don't really like. I just have her around because it's free pussy, whatever. Or I just jerk off. Or, I eat a bunch of junk food, I fucking gain a bunch of weight. I drink. I feel like I don't really love my life. I kind of live every day, paycheck to paycheck, right? I live just enough to get by, right? So I can enjoy the little mundane, like, pleasures in life that they're very fruitless pleasures that they go away in an instant, right? They're indulgences, I would say. When you live that lifestyle, bro, it's very destructive for your soul, especially when you know what you're capable of, right? I know how far I can take this thing because I not only do I feel it in my soul, but I see it. Like, I have the vision. I could see how far and how well I could take this. You know what I mean? It could really be something. And I feel like it would not only be a failure to myself, but a failure to society, a failure to my family and friends, and everything. My quality of life and the quality of life I would consider in society and my community would be better if I could be everything that I could be, rather than sort of relinquish that responsibility because I'm afraid, or because what if I fail, bro, or what if they reject me, or what if I'm not good enough, or dude, shut the fuck up. Like that, all of that shit, it's all these fears, they're illusionary, to be very frank. I mean, if the fear isn't the type of fear that stems from your life being threatened, like a life or death situation, it's most likely an illusion, okay? Because it has to do with the ego rather than your actual life. You know what I'm saying? What if I get rejected? Hey, bro, guess what? Rejection is fucking subjective, okay? Not everybody's gonna like your stuff. Even if you're Leonardo da Vinci, not everybody liked Leonardo's shit, bro. Can you believe that? Okay, so not every girl's gonna like you. Not every fucking guy's gonna like your art or your music or whatever. But there are people out there who do. And if, Jesus Christ, if you measure in the world, like how many people love my stuff in the whole population versus how many people dislike it, probably going to be at least half of the world. If you're a decently good artist, if you're pretty good, right, if you really back up and give people a reason to like your shit, probably going to be at least half, maybe more than half, more or less, in the whole world are going to like your shit. So how much is half of 7 billion? I have no idea. I'm not the right guy to ask that question. But that's a lot, bro. That's a lot of fucking people, man. That's like at least, I don't know, 100 million people more. That's more than 100 million, I think. But that's a lot of fucking people, bro. And you don't even know. You haven't discovered those people yet. So for you to stop or to not do something that you want to do in fear of somebody else not liking it, bro, you're just holding yourself back from discovering the people that truly do like your stuff, that can truly appreciate your stuff. You know what I'm saying? Fear and failure is gonna happen. Failure is absolutely necessary, bro. And I would say, based on the advice of a lot of other professionals in many different creative fields, fail as soon as possible and fail with intention. Don't make stupid mistakes. You know what I mean? Try not to do that. Try not to waste your time with failure, but failure is a necessary stepping stone to get to where you want to go. Because how the fuck are you gonna know what is the right course of action if you don't discover what's not the right course? You know what I mean? I mean, you can do it right the first time, but especially in the beginning, you're not most likely gonna do it right the first time. Eventually, you're gonna fail. So you have to dismantle this, like, this narrative that you need to be completely perfect and flawless and all this stuff, and that means that you're worthy of success. No, bro. That fear or failure is just another stepping stone, bro. And that's why when people tell me like they're afraid to fail, it's sort of like saying you're afraid to walk. Like you're gonna walk, bro. Walking is necessary to get from point A to point B. It's unavoidable unless you want to stay exactly where you are. You know what I mean? So failure is gonna happen, bro. You're gonna fuck up sometimes. You're not perfect. Be unapologetic about it. I mean, you are a human being. You're not a fucking god. You're not some whatever. Okay, you're gonna make mistakes. So that's just the way it is. And yeah, you have literally nothing to fear. It's just all in your head, bro. It's all in your head. So if you ask me, I mean, doing the path of being an artist and putting my all into it and trying to be the best that I could possibly be is completely worth it. I mean, it's not just about the money and this or that. It's really deep down, it's the honest soul fulfillment. Money will come when you do what you want to do in life. You know, you don't have anything to worry about if you put your all into what you love to do, right? Especially money wise. What you really should worry about is entering a field that you're not really interested in and fucking 10, 20, 30 years down the line, a younger, smarter, better looking, more motivated person than you takes your spot because you were in that role and you weren't doing top performing stuff because you weren't that interested. You only did it for the money in the short term. And now your fucking job's at risk because, you're a liability compared to somebody who can perform your job 10 times better. Or maybe even a robot could do your job because that's what's going to happen probably. You know? AI art, just want to put this on the record. I'm not concerned about it. I think that it's the same thing with cameras, right? Or the same thing with like digital art. There are going to be times in our lifetime perhaps or moving on forever. There is always going to be advancements, bro. Digital cameras didn't stop fucking artists from making it and from being in galleries and painting stuff. People, that's why people started doing I forgot which movement was it, like the cubism movement or the abstract, I don't fucking know, surrealism. I don't know art history. People started changing, right? Then digital art. People are like, it's over for traditional artists, bro. No, it isn't, bro. There's still fucking artists out there who make money in galleries. There's still people who want actual tangible art rather than having a fucking picture on their phone. You know what I mean? Like, I want to have dope ass art on my wall and shit. I don't just want to like look at my phone and be like, ha, yeah, come on, bro. So that's not a worry. AI, um, I see it more as like a novelty rather than a genuine threat. I don't see it as a threat at all. I think it's a tool. I was just thinking about, I saw a video of a guy, he did some cool stuff, man. Basically put like his own video and he put a filter of AI over it and it was so fire. It looked really cool. So I was thinking, imagine using that in film as a tool, as like a thing to use, like not the whole fucking film is AI, but as a tool to express an aspect of the story, right? If you can do that in animation, that'd be fucking fire. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna like take away, oh, now we don't need directors, now we don't need production. Come on, bro. You know, we're always gonna need jobs as human beings. People are gonna find a way. And if you really want to succeed as an artist, if you just love art, you're not gonna let this little fucking thing stop you regardless. Even if you even if you don't succeed, it's sort of like, let's put it like this. Let's say you're born really ugly, all right, and it's hard for you to find a sexual partner. Are you going to stop living your life and trying to live it at the highest quality you can just because it's very difficult for you to find a partner? Are you going to not go to the gym? Are you going to not eat well? Are you going to not follow your career path or follow your life fulfillment just because of this one thing. And you probably have a lot of other great things, right, that aren't immediately obvious. But just because of that, you're gonna stop and cut everything off just for that. I'll say that's a fucking foolish decision, right? So you really have nothing to worry about, bro. AI is not gonna take away your job, not unless you're good at what you do, right? If you're just some half-ass artist that draws then maybe you have something to worry about. But guess what? There are a lot of half-ass artists out there and galleries who make thousands, bro, just by doing fucking pop art of like Scarface, the same goddamn picture, or fucking they just put their little symbol or their little like bit or niche thing. Like they'll do like Chicago Bulls. Like I saw this one guy on Instagram. He does like shit like that where it's like people's symbols or large corporate symbols or pop art basically. But then he puts like a tentacle of the same color just on the thing, and he makes thousands, bro. He makes good money. I mean, I don't know if he's rich. I have no idea, but he's clearly successful. He has a lot of followers, like I think 600,000, and I think to myself like, who the fuck actually enjoys this shit? You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not gonna judge. Art is subjective. I personally don't like that art. I think it's very cheap, and I think it's just not a demonstration of true creativity. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion. But if people like that, because there are millions of artists who are cut copies of like Basquiat or this and that, but they can make it. Why couldn't you, the person who wants to succeed and wants to put their all and their soul into art and to make it actually make beautiful stuff that impacts society, culture, humanity, etc. Why couldn't you succeed? Hmm? It's really just a matter of you got to take the risk, bro. But the risk is really it's minuscule compared to the risk of you leading that mundane life and going 20, 30 years down the road and you're not fucking happy because you knew that if you spent those years doing what you felt was necessary for you inside, right, to fulfill you and to fulfill humanity, fulfill your potential, you will feel that regret, bro, because you knew that you could have done it but you didn't do it. You know what I mean? And that sort of regret, it's not very surface level. It's like a deep rooted like because you can't get that time back, bro. You can't, because you were a coward, because you were afraid of things that weren't there, you know? And if you ask me, bro, like I said, it's totally worth it.